again, when you're running paid marketing, there are going to be clients like myself. I'm one of those clients. I'm not going to click on an ad, right? I'm just not. But I will go to your website, check it out. If it sounds good, I'm going to do a little research and then I'll reach out to you. I would have never known about your business had I not seen that ad.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple with Blake and Sherman. And today we're going to talk about our clients, our future clients, and honestly, what makes the best clients. Because one of the questions that we get often is, I don't know if I should work with you guys. I don't know if the time is right. I've tried other marketing companies and it didn't work. So we just want to sort of lay out some points of sort of the avatar of clients that absolutely crush it with us. So you guys, as you're listening to this, as you move forward and thinking about working with Lasso, I think I'd be a good fit, or nah, it doesn't like I'll be a good fit right now. And that's totally fine, guys. We want to work with clients that are going to do what we say, that track the metrics and stuff that we need, because at the end of the day, guys, we're not one of those flash flood type marketing companies that's just going to sort of prey on the community and get out of here. We have invested success in our clients. So we want to see absolutely everyone crush it. So Blake, let's jump right into it. I'll let you start it off and then we'll just sort of take this conversation where it goes.
Yeah, so I'll make this disclaimer first, right? So we're saying this, and if you listen to this and you're thinking about doing this and you meet I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably 12 different points here, but if you meet 10 of those, right, and you think this is a good thing for you, definitely hop on a call with us. We're gonna shoot it to you straight, and then if there's things that you're like, no, that's definitely not me, I'll just be honest, don't book a call with us, because there's people that have reached out to us. They're like, yeah, we're not a great fit for you based on things that you've said. So we want, just like you have somebody come, let me put it this way so that this doesn't come off like we're being rude. Just like you have somebody come in your gym that may not fit your avatar and the person you want in your gym, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, we're just not the best fit for you and we're not going to get you the best long-term success. And that's respecting your time and especially your money. And it's respecting our time, because we want people that are here that are going to be long-term clients for us and have the right mindset. And I will say that is number one, above all else, is mindset, right? Having the right mindset. And so you're probably like, what does mindset mean? And first and foremost, the mindset means that you're not looking, we've been on a call, you guys, I need to make 10x what I invest this month. So if you pay 2,000, you can make 20 grand. And that just never happens. Honestly, it just never happens in really any attribute of life. I think of any investment that you said, I'm going to give you X amount of money, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and I expect $10,000, $20,000 or $30,000. That would probably be caused you'd be getting investigated probably by the FBI because you're doing something super shady. But that's just not reality. That's not how things work. So you have to be looking long-term growth, right? This isn't we're not for people, let me say this first and foremost, that are I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to stay open next month or the month after. We're looking for people that are doing well. And then honestly, I would say people that come to us that always do the best are they've grown a successful business, but right now their new clients is meeting their churn. They're I just can't break past this 100, 150 mark, right? And that's where we've really, really done well with people that are just what I'm bringing in is the same that I'm losing every month. And I've tried everything. I got my systems in place. I got all my processes. I just can't beat it. So this is what we've seen, people that you got to be profitable, right? And what we've seen, and this is kind of just It's just a number, but we've seen gyms that, like, I say 15,000 is a good benchmark. 10,000 bare minimum, right? But it could be, let's say it's 10,000, but this is like you have a whole nother job, profession. This is just like an investment and like you're out of the day to day and you want to grow it. That's where I say, like, the reason's kind of arbitrary, because if you are an investor in a business and you have a full-time job, you probably can invest a little more because you're not counting on that as the sole income. So that, but if you are a sole, like, this is probably the best way to put it. If this is your sole income and like $15,000, and just to be upfront with you guys, like, if you're doing less than $10,000, like, you don't need a full-on staff and a full-on team and all this stuff. You should just be hustling and grinding and building this thing up to like 15K, and just putting the grind hours behind it and growing. So I would say that's like number one is mindset, and just the profitability, that the paid marketing isn't going to stretch you financially, that like in 2 to 3 months, if it's not taking off and going crazy, that you're not like, oh my gosh, like, I got to stop. Like, this isn't, I'm going bankrupt and I'm not going to be able to pay my rent and things like that. So I think that's like number 1 and 2 would be the most important. And number 1 by far is mindset.
Okay. I believe that the best gyms definitely track their numbers, right? They track their numbers when working with us. They basically, like, they track how many leads they get. They track how many people show up. They track how many clients they get. They actually keep up with this. And one of the things that we do at Lasso, we want to know what your numbers look like before working with us, right? Because one of the things that we don't want to get involved in is, oh, this lead came from there, blah, 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 because there's a halo effect that happens when you run paid marketing. And let me dive in a little bit deeper. So for instance, let's just say we look at your metrics from the previous 6 months before you work with us. And on average, just making numbers up, you were doing $18,000. On average, you were gaining 4 new clients, right? I'm not going to talk about how many you were losing. You were gaining 4 new clients and you were doing 18 grand, right? Now you work with us and we track your data over the next 4 to 6 months. Now on average, you're gaining 7 to 8 new members and your revenue has gone up to 22,000, right? We see that as a plus, right? We know that's a plus because really the big change that you've made is you're running paid marketing now, and we can look at those numbers. Oh, this is how many leads I was getting before. This is what my revenue looked like, right? That is a net increase across the board. But oftentimes what we'll see or hear is people saying, well, yes, everything has gone up, but we also had, these people went to my website and blah, blah, blah. But guys, here's the thing. Again, when you're running paid marketing, there are going to be clients like myself. I'm one of those clients. I'm not going to click on an ad, right? I'm just not. But I will go to your website, check it out. If it sounds good, I'm going to do a little research and then I'll reach out to you. I would have never known about your business had I not seen that ad, but you'll never be able to track me back to the ad. So for us, knowing your numbers before working with us, and of course, tracking those numbers while you're working with us really helps us keep you in line with your growth over the long term, right? Because you should see a steady, slow increase in revenue and new members month over month when you work with us, right? So I think that's a big one for me, Blake.
I think, to add to that, go back to mindset as well, right? Like, if you think that I have to spend X and make X every single month, it's not. People always say, well, if I spend this, I have to get this amount of clients per month, and that's not true because it's not a product-based service. Now, like, let's say you're selling, let's just say the gym equipment, you're selling, dumbbells. That's a one-time purchase, and so that revenue is your cost, and then your ROAS, return on ad spend, would be based on the purchase of the item. When it comes to a service-based business, that's reoccurring and compounds on itself. So let's say you spend $300 to acquire a customer, but that customer only signs up for $200. On paper, that looks like you lost $100. You did lose $100 that month, But if that client, let's just say they even stay for 4 months, that's actually $800 of revenue. So that's actually a net $500. Now imagine month one, you're kind of net negative, but month two, you're in the black in every single month thereafter. So again, going back to mindset, you have to know your LTV, your lifetime value of a client. That's your ARM times your length of engagement. Wow, I drew a blank there. So how long they stay. So then you know your lifetime value, because then if you know your lifetime value, you could say my lifetime value is, let's say, you should be well over this, but let's use numbers of 6 months for $200, $1,200. You could spend $200, $300, $400 and still get a 300% return on that ad spend based on that $400, right? So you have to look at long term. And the main thing we say, and if you go to our website, we talk about growing your revenue. We're not even talking about your clients. We're talking about growing your revenue, because you might need to raise your rates. You might need to do X, Y, Z. But as long as you see a steady growth in revenue, everything will make sense in the end, right? It'll all add up. And that's crucial.
Yeah, one of the big things that I really enjoy when we bring new clients on is that we've started doing what we call an ROI call, right? So when you first come on board with us, we're going to get on a call and we're going to talk about realistic numbers that are going to happen based on your ad spend, going to be based on what your average revenue per member looks like and what that looks like at 3, 6, 12, 18 months, so that you have expectations of what to expect, guys. Again, we're not the save your gym marketing company. Hey, I need to get 25 new members this month or I'm shutting the doors, right? That's not us. We're going to give you realistic numbers based on the data that we have from working with hundreds and hundreds of gyms over the last, 7, 8 years, right? So we're going to give you that so that you guys know what to expect. So you know what that growth trajectory looks like. Because honestly, guys, a huge testimonial for us is someone that starts with us and then 18, 24 months later, like they've doubled their revenue, right? They continue to see in slight increase month over month, right? That's what we like. I know at times people are looking for this quick, I need this huge influx of cash. And guys, time to time that happens with us and we're happy for our clients, but that's not really our thing, right? That's not what we do. We want to be your long-term growth partner, so that when you come in with us, when you come on board with us, you understand that you're going to have a reliable lead source, a reliable way to grow your revenue month over month, year over year. And, it fluctuates, right? Sometimes it's very good. Sometimes it slows down a little bit. And that's just part of the process, as with any business, right? We wish that all businesses were straight to the moon. I know all of us entrepreneurs do, but we all get, sometimes it's straight up. Sometimes it's a little flat. Sometimes it may dip a little bit, right? And that's the same way we like to look at you guys' revenue when we're working together over the long term. So I think that's a big one right there as well.
And I think one thing to add to that, right? Like you might be saying, okay, well, what does success look like with you guys then? Because if it's not just this immediate growth, we always say we want people to look back over the year and see they doubled their revenue. They went from $20,000 to $40,000, and then next year they're going to $60,000 to $70,000 to $80,000, right? So like we want to look over like, hey, what if you're able to take a step back of that mindset and say, wow, I'm growing X over it. This is where I can be in 12 months or at the end of the year. That's the type of person we want. So, if you had 100%, if you had 100, even 50, I mean, truly, like big corporations, they celebrate over 10% growth, right? But like we're saying, hey, if you can 50 to 100% your monthly revenue and get there, and we have gyms do over $110,000 a month. That absolutely are doing $1 million a year, right? And continuously grow and started out around $65,000 with us. So that growth is what we want to see over the course. The other thing is, it's like, I had a quick story. I had somebody came out to fertilize my garden. I live in Indiana. It's still cold here. And my wife was like, is it even, time to fertilize? And I was like, look, I hire people because they're the experts. I don't know if it's time to fertilize. That's why I pay them, right? And so one big thing that we want people that come to us to be like, hey, you guys are the experts. You tell me what to do. You have the proven process, and I'm going to listen and follow that process. I'm not going to try to do my own thing and do all these crazy things. I want to know what works. I want you to tell me what works, and I want you to implement it, because that is where we see the most success. When we go away from what's proven, we already know certain things don't work. But if you want to kind of, we're not going to like sit there and like babysit and be like, no, you have to do this, but we're going to guide you and be honest with you. And if you want to do different things that are outside of that, we're just going to be like very blunt and say, that's probably not going to work. AKA stuff like promoting online programming, promoting your saunas, or like just strictly nutrition. Like those things don't really work with paid marketing. Paid marketing works for growing your personal training, group classes, and your semi-group private. Like those are the main things. And then we have a proven process, workflows, and everything to go along with that. So the big thing I would say with that, the overarching thing is when you hire an expert, you trust them and you don't diminish their value and knowledge and think you know better, right? We're not here to teach you how to do things. This is a big thing. We want people that are like, hey, I don't want to learn Facebook marketing. I don't want to. I know what I'm good at. I know that I'm good at like running a gym and running people. I want somebody to take this off my hands so I don't have to worry about it. That is an ideal client for us. That's kind of like somebody that like comes into your gym. Do you want somebody knocking on your door in your office and be like, hey, tell me why we're doing thrusters today? Hey, we just did thrusters yesterday. Why are we doing snatches today? If they're always asking about programming, you're like, dude, just show up and do the work, right? The results will follow. That's the same thing with somebody when you hire an expert. You want people to follow your advice because you are the expert. They're paying you to get results. Same thing with us.
I think that's a big one, right? Like I think that's a big one. A lot of times, guys, this is one of my pet peeves. I'm going off on a slight tangent here, Blake. Let me be great for a minute. I hate when people tag us. Someone will say, what's the go-to marketing for affiliate owners now? Then someone tags us and Big Little Gyms and some of these other guys. I'm just I'm just naming them because I don't want you guys to tag us in this. If you're looking for a solution that is done for you, white glove service with excellent results, that's us, right? There's no one out there doing it like us. Now, if you're looking for someone to give you videos to watch and walk alongside you and, stuff like that, then that would be those other guys, maybe the Two Brains, the Big Little Gym, some of those other guys, right? That would be them. But stop tagging us and like we are not the marketers that are going to give you 50 videos to watch and then you have to basically figure it out on the back end and all that stuff. Like that's not us. We're not teaching. We're not a teaching service. We're not going to show you how to do it. We're going to get to work on the back end, and you are going to then talk with us about the results that we're getting you. So I just went off on a slight tangent just because it happens more often than not. So just wanted to talk about that.
Oh, you're going to go somewhere else with that, but maybe that'll be later. Other thing, right? You're willing to do the work. You're willing to show up. You're willing to nurture leads. Here's the thing. We can't nurture the leads and show up at your gym and sign them up. You have to get back to people. You have to be responsive. You have to be the type of person, and we do have a VA service that will manage your leads for you. So if you're like, hey, all this sounds great, but like, I don't want to respond to all these leads. I got better things to do. Hey, we got somebody for a little extra cost that will do all of that for you and respond within 5 to 15 minutes of every single lead. But if you don't want to do that, you have to be responsive. If you sit there and say, hey, well, these leads aren't booking, they're bad leads, and I look and it's taking you 5 hours to respond to a lead, well, it's pretty obvious why they're not booking. They got busy, they picked up their kids from school, they got home, and they didn't want to text you back. You didn't make the time. They're trying to buy from you, and you're taking too long to respond to them. So you got to be willing to work. And sometimes that means, just flat out, it might mean, hey, on Saturday when you're at your kid's basketball game, you got to respond to a lead. You got to do things because other gyms are doing it. So you got to be willing to work, have a work ethic. You mentioned this earlier, Sherman, but not getting caught up where leads come from. And I'm going to give you guys some raw data here. So I took 4 gyms that worked with us and then stopped working with us. So their month previous to stop running paid ads, when they were paying us and they were running our service, they got 247 leads. This is across 4 gyms with 65 clients. That is an average of 16 signups per gym. Okay. The next month, when they stopped running paid marketing, out of those 4, the leads dropped off by more than half, 93 leads and 21 clients, and then went down to 5.25 clients. That means they lost per location, on average, 11 clients per location. So if you take 11 clients, let's just do the math here. And sorry, I didn't prepare these numbers. Let's say like you have an average of $180 per sign up. That's $2,000 in your bank account that month, 1980 to be specific. Let's say those clients stay for 6 months, just 6 months. That is $12,000 that each one of those gyms lost out on. So if you don't think, and where I'm going with this, is those gyms thought that, oh, we're just getting leads from our website, and this is going to be another tangent. People don't join your gym because of the community and your coaching, guys. Like, just flat out don't believe mentor companies that tell you if you go get your L3, L4, people are going to join your gym. Ask 30, 100 people. I do not care in your community if they know what an L4 or L3 means. Not in your community, I'm sorry, like outside your gym. The people that you don't know, right? That would potentially be leads. They don't know, or do they care? That is not going to bring people in your door. Now, will you produce a better coach? Maybe. You could be an L4 and L3 and be a complete jerk to clients. It doesn't, I would say what makes a better coach is somebody that's empathetic and actually cares about the people. But to my point, your website and everything is going to increase when you run paid marketing. It's 2025. The best leads, and I just did a post on this today, are going to, if you're running the same exact ad versus somebody else, they're going to look at your social media and they're going to go to your website, and they may opt in on your website or social media. We have already shown just by our data that over 50, I mean, it's more than that, more than 50% of your leads, you'll increase by over 50% of more leads by running paid marketing. And that's across all platforms up, right? And it produced 11 clients per location. So we do not look at, in terms of this beginning, we look at this for prior 6 months, and we look at each month after that based on your average, okay? So that's a huge thing. You don't get caught up in where the leads come from. If you have that mindset of, I don't care where they come from, as long as I see my net new client grow, that's all I care of. All we look at is, we used to get 4, now you're getting 8. We know there's a net 4 due to marketing. That was a tangent.
Yeah, no. So, all right. So we had a couple tangents. We're gonna talk about 1 or 2 more things before we get out of here. But for me, this is a big one for me, guys. I think the best clients understand that when they come on board and when they have success, it is going to be hard work. I think that's one of the fallacies out there that, oh, I'm going to do this, it's going to take off, and it's not going to be more work for me. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. For some of the gyms that we've helped double their revenue, it has been more work for everyone on their team, right? It's just not easy to go from 25 grand to 50 grand and you still stay in the same place, guys. So, are you prepared to call the leads, 10 times? Are you prepared to follow up with the people that may not be totally interested on day one? Are you continually prepared to do that for 4, 6, 8 months, right? The lead nurture is really important, even outside of the automation with the CRMs. And shout out to Push Press. We love working with their clients, the CRM. It just makes it easier. But there's a lot of work that goes into this, guys, when you decide that, okay, I'm going to take this gym to the next level. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to help more people. It is going to be more work. So if you are wanting to grow your gym, but you're not wanting to do more work for you or your team, right? I'm not saying the owner is going to be doing everything, but it depends on the systems and stuff that you have in place. But it is going to be more work for someone if you're going to double your revenue. So, that would be my last one, Blake.
I would say, if you go into something thinking it's not going to be more work, when in life do you do you make more money or you grow a business without working harder? And so that like, so if you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do more work. Well, when in life does that not happen? And I would say, to add on to that, so we know that the conversion rate is going to be from 10 to 20% of leads to booked, or I'm sorry, leads to close. So that means, let's say let's say we get 50 leads, right? That means that you're going to have 5 to 10 new signups more than you had before. That means you're going to have between 45 and 40 conversations that do not convert to signups. So if you're listening to this, you have to be okay with, I know that I'm going to have a lot of conversations, but this is a numbers game. This is a numbers game because there are so many gyms out there. I know there are going to be a lot of people. These are cold leads. I have to get them to know, like, and trust me very quickly. And I am okay having more conversations if that means that I have more clients long term. That means I do have to have a lot of people to say no, and you can't get emotionally wrapped up in that. That's why you have to know your numbers and know leads booked to close and know overall how you're growing, and then focus on those things. And then I would say the last thing is, and this is one of the biggest things, we have had clients that literally grow 60%, double the revenue in 1 year. And they're like, oh, I'm going to try something else. Here's the thing, guys. When you grow, you double your revenue or do whatever, you should just do more of that thing, not less of it, and chase some shiny thing, go get saunas and everything. And then you can't afford to do marketing anymore, the thing that got you to that place. You double down on what's working and you keep doing it. And then you add on other things on top of it to keep growing. So chasing the shiny new thing, if you're always looking for what new mentoring company, what new things out there, like, that's just not a great thing to do for a business. Keep always do it. It's not cool or sexy or whatever, but what works is what works. Keep doing the things that work.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, guys. So we're not going to hold you any longer, guys. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully you gain some value from this. Hopefully this helps someone. So as always, tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.